3+1 questions to ask and answer if you're an international language educator in the COVID-19 era. 1. What can we do to enhance our web positioning? Identify opportunities for you to improve the design, functionality and effectiveness of your channels. Turbocharge your online learning store and products. COVID-19 has forced you to create a system for conveying your online lessons in a successful way, as fast as possible. Look carefully into it and get the support you need to process the following. Rethinking your target audience. Now that you're fully online, which other or which new customers can you reach as fast as possible? And where are they on the internet? Tweak your product positioning in the market's radar according to pricing and product specs. Start by calculating your new CODB. That's the cost of doing business online. Set up a new price list only for your online products and services. Be proactive in researching what similar online products are available. Start with your traditional recruiting markets. What prices do they charge? Which platforms do they use? How do they differentiate? What immediate changes can you introduce to quickly gain a better positioning in the market with the least investment? How can you turbocharge the outreach of communication in your markets in order to go from the knowing few to the profitable many? Overhauling your landing pages and online store? Yes, you do now have an online store to take care of. How are you going to use it to its greatest potential? What can you do to deliver a remarkable user experience? Are your calls to action clear, accessible, super visible and convertible in very, very few clicks? Is the credit card payment system that you have working efficiently and securely for your students and customers? Number 2, marketing. And as The Clash once said, should I stay or should I go? In a time when you need to be very conservative with your money, marketing investments can suffer from a serious shortage. Yet, here you can find some marketing actions that can help you connect leads with effective sales in an efficient way. Content and more content. It's time to become a blog or a vlog star. As an expert in languages, it's time for you to free up all of your knowledge in favour of the creation of value in other people's activities. Don't hesitate and create a calendar of publications in which you can introduce a series of articles related to, for example, how to correctly write business emails and reports. Compile and release a list of useful sentences and expressions in negotiations and commercial communication. Give tips on how to prepare for and pass language tests and how to defend your thesis for scholars. If you're using video, don't hesitate to create a strategy for multi-channel communication. You can even introduce thumbnails in your emails to improve CTR, that's the click-through rate. It's an innovative way to give a fresh air to your email communications. User-friendly and approachable style. Last but not least, invite your audience to see that learning a language is more about getting a tool for intercultural communication than acquiring new skills for communicating in a different syntactical world. It has a human purpose. It's a mindset that requires daily practice, like jogging or playing the guitar. Something that you can learn and excel at if you cultivate enough passion for it. This passion is what your content must inspire. Alumni, time to power it up. Another stakeholder that has crucial importance with the ecosystem of an international language school is its alumni. Think about what you could do to harness and exploit the value that lies within. Provide them with online encounters, former students meeting with their teachers and ex-classmates to have a candid touch base, that's one way of doing it. Why not offer them online access to free resources to help retain the knowledge they gain from your school? Send them a short video with pictures of the time they spent studying at the school to revitalise their positive memories. The provision of this will allow you to reconnect with your alumni and see how they could contribute to the financial reactivation of the school. You will be making them your ambassadors, actively looking for new hearts to be won by your school. Word of mouth is extremely powerful. Present your community and their values. Give it a voice in your communications to those who haven't been traditionally in the spotlight, but that also play key roles in making your language school ecosystem lively and friendly. Why not create a video series with your host families giving positive messages about using time in a productive manner during lockdown? Activities coordinators can also be helpful to recommend free online events, broadcast from the most important cultural venues in your city, operas, concert halls, museums. Check, for example, the Wiener Staatsoper and the free of charge reproduction of some of the most famous Montreux Jazz Festival concerts by Stingray Quello. Another good example of how to promote the cultural values of your community is the great French cuisine preparations showcased by Ellery Maitland, Director of French in Normandy. What can I do to improve collaboration with our agents in the COVID-19 era and beyond? Your agents are of utmost importance for the extension of your ecosystem into the markets where you recruit. However, just before the COVID-19 situation, at least in Latin America, the discussions between agents and schools were pretty much gravitating on conversations about finance. Most of the conversations are about the implementation of discounts, marketing contributions and commissions. All of this, along with the accountability of parties in the solution of complaints and refund requests from students, resulted in bringing a lot of tension into the mutual business relationship. Now it's time to change to a more comprehensive vision of the ongoing business between your school and your agents, letting it be framed by a strong shared value commitment at both ends. But how can you practically achieve this? Well, here are some ideas. High-value webinars. Together with your agents, you can plan a calendar of webinars in two basic dimensions: the technical dimension and the knowledge-based dimension. In the technical dimension, you can include webinars to illustrate to students about the processes that are related to your admissions procedures and linked to strict dates, the requirements for the organisation and presentation of documentation that's necessary to study at your school. Both the school and the agent could even host a webinar with a significant third party to talk about these topics, perhaps such as a consular officer. The possibilities are infinite. As advice, you could use a time distribution plan, like 10% for presenting who you both are and what you do, including your partnership, 40% for presenting the topic using a get-to-the-point mindset, and 50% dedicated to take the questions from the audience and to answer them with clarity. In a 1-hour webinar, that means 6 minutes for the presentation of the parties, 24 minutes for presenting the content, and 30 minutes for questions and answers. In the COVID-19 outbreak situation, it's important to actively contact your agents to prepare webinars to fully communicate about the restrictions, regulations, and other steps taken by your government for the purpose of dealing with the crisis. Be generous in taking as many questions as possible from the audience. Don't fall into the trap of selling your online courses or showcasing your beautiful premises. Don't be condescending with your responses to the public inquiries and expressed concerns. The Knowledgebase Webinar. This is the most enjoyable and valuable type of webinar. Here you can show all the value your school has to offer to your students, Don't hesitate to express your teaching values, human approach, and genuine interest in making a difference for every student. In the current lockdown season, you can offer workshops for increasing one's capabilities in the language that you teach. Like, for example, how to make the most of reading a book in the language. Give some basic grammar and structure rules and tips to prepare documents in the most successful way. How to write emails and motivational letters to apply for a job or university. You can include how to ask for a recommendation on LinkedIn, how to write a love letter, or comment on your favourite movies and musical masterpieces. The sky is the limit. Define and plan in advance with your agent the target audience you want to reach for each one of your webinars. On the other hand, when eventually the skies reopen and planes can take off again, you and your agent can collaborate to perform Q&A sessions with some of your host families and resident coordinators about staying safe in your accommodation. That's the new normal. Here too, the sky is the limit. But don't forget to address short-term and long-term students separately to provide a better personalised experience. Yes, and here, enjoy yourself too, showing off your magnificent premises and your campus. Training, training, and more training. Even when agent staff are in general, at least in Latin America, young professionals with tertiary education qualifications, and many have study abroad experiences, they may be more or less skillful at selling your products. Intensive and reiterative training of your agent sales staff is crucial for you to guarantee the proper delivery of the information about your products. But in order to bring something new to the basic advice, it's important to take into account the human factor. It always lies beneath and only surfaces once the counsellor is alone with their client. For addressing such concern, you can ask your agent staff the following 3 questions during their training. Number 1, what knowledge can you build? Number 2, what can you sell? Number 3, what are you passionate about? While some sales staff are able to focus in a very detailed manner about the destination, the surroundings of the school, and the extracurricular activities available, others prefer to build up knowledge on the opportunities maybe that local universities offer for long-term students, and to assist them to find part-time jobs. Some sales staff are very comfortable about selling standard language courses like hotcakes. Others prefer to take their time with the student and collaborate to set up more complex projects that may include official exams and academic experiences. And there are staff that prefer to organise language learning experiences for busy and dynamic executives. Passion. Get to identify the destination that is the heart of your agent's staff. Try to find out what it is that motivates them. What's the type of student they love to work with? Which is the most preferred season they like to advise students about? What's their favourite country's embassy for ease of visa applications? Even dare to ask them about their favourite school or institution, why they promote it. Understanding these 3 components about your agent's staff will provide you with exceptionally valuable insight about how to create the perfect training to reach an optimal level of motivation and competency, which will sell your school and your products. You'll be doing this by taking advantage of the abounding diversity of feelings, opinions, and the schools they sell. By doing so, you can also support your agent in how to develop their team in a more engaging and dynamic way. Alright, this is the end, and as Jim Morrison used to say, thank you for reading thus far.